Go time because we are live right here on Sergey versus Goliath. This is the same show as the Clear Skies movement. We are working on getting a nonprofit organized, and the attorney I'm speaking with said, hey, there is a big problem with the stuff that you say on your show, because as a C3 or a C4, we need to have receipts, and it's this whole big thing. We don't have the amount of people to do it. And so she recommended separating the name of the show from the Clear Skies movement. That's why we moved on from TCSM Live to Sergey versus Goliath. And the really big news is that we are now on Rumble. Miss Dawn?
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to log on. Yay.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So the audience roared, and I'm very happy about that. Let's see. I think that cleared that up. Guys, follow me on Rumble because we're really trying to get away from the massive, and I mean massive, amount of shadow banning, throttling, and outright banning that's going on X. I don't know what's going on. Everybody is saying that it is actually worse than when it was Twitter.
So they're saying I'm on Rumble, but it's not playing. So I found that too. We have a channel, so you have to go to the live page, and so it's Sergey it's at Sergey _versus _Goliath.
You'll see it right here. I've got it up on the
X.
No, that's Rumble right there, babe. So we've got a whole bunch of things going on.
But they want to
here.
know how to get on it so they can see it.
So all you do is when you go on the page, it'll say that I'm live. It'll just have like this pink red thing around it.
But I was just there, and I was on the channel of Sergey versus Goliath, and it doesn't show that. You have to go to your default, which is at Sergey _VS _Goliath, and then you'll see it playing live.
Perfect. And
let me know if it's working.
Yeah, and you can go onto X. You can watch just on X, but on my X page and in the Clear Skies movement community, I posted the direct live link also, so you can just click on that.
And the chosen one also asked, will Sergey be live on available Substack? Yeah, he's live right now.
Absolutely,
on it.
yeah.
He's on it right now.
No, I love Substack. Well, we're fighting
There's
a
LaShawn.
lot.
She's on.
Oh,
on Rumble.
Hey, LaShawn, nice to see you on Rumble. So we're just fighting a lot of shadow banning and throttling on X. And so I'm looking for other ways to expand our reach and move the Clear Skies movement message forward. That said, take a look at this video.
Crown lands are off limits in New Brunswick.
Get out of the woods and stay out of the woods.
The province's premier announcing the restrictions this weekend to prevent more wildfires like this growing one near Miramichi.
We are really hoping that at the end of all this, we will have issued 0 fines.
This just days after Nova Scotia issued a similar ban. No hiking, camping, fishing, or ATV use in the forest.
I'm losing sleep about what's happening.
The premier says the strict measures are a small price to pay to avoid devastating wildfires.
We must do everything possible to protect each other.
Those who don't comply face a $25,000 fine.
That I find that very interesting. Miss Dawn, do you find that interesting that because they want to keep people out of the woods? That's what they just said yesterday.
It's pathetic.
New Brunswick. So they don't have more fires, and that's really. But oops! Wait till you see this.
I don't understand why they would do that, but.
All right. Oh, hold on. I
in the
gotta
woods.
turn the volume up on this because this is important. Same woman that said stay out. We don't want to have anybody in the woods because of the wildfires.
Me going for a walk in the woods is going to cause a fire. I can understand why people think that that's ridiculous. But the reality is, it's not that you might cause a fire. It's that if you're out there walking in the woods and you break your leg, we're not going to come and get you, because we have emergency responders that are out focused on a fire that is threatening the lives of New Brunswickers. And if you take your boat out fishing in a pond in Crown Land and you capsize, we're not going to be able to come and help you out, because our first responders are focused on an immediate and serious threat to our province. And so it's the possibility of diverting emergency resources away from where they are really needed.
So does anybody else find it funny that yesterday or the day before, whenever New Brunswick or Nova Scotia came out and said, all right, you can't because we don't want you starting fires. And then people are saying, oh, wait, but how is that possible? Oh, well, no, it's not that we think you'll start fires. We're giving you a $25,000 fine, and we're keeping you out of the rivers, the forests, the meadows. You can't camp, you can't hike, you can't fish, you can't hunt, you can't do any of that but because you might get hurt. Now it's not even about wildfires. It's not about fires at all. Now you might get hurt, and then we can't come get you because there's fires out there. It reminds me of the whole 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
On Tuesday, the White House coronavirus response coordinator predicting California and Washington could see far fewer COVID-related deaths than other states over the next 2 weeks.
Washington State, California really talked to their communities and decided to mitigate before they started seeing this number of cases. And now we know that makes a big difference.
On March 16th, California's Bay Area became the country's first region to issue a stay-at-home order.
Really, over the last week and a half, we have seen a flattening of the curve.
On March 19th, California became the first state to order its residents to stay at home. Cities like Los Angeles now enacting some of the strictest social distancing measures in the nation, closing all playgrounds, beaches, and hiking trails. This morning, a much-needed ray of light in the Golden State, now 2 weeks into its shutdown.
2 weeks, which lasted years. I mean, literally, they kept people out. And baby, you remember when you were mentioning the other day about that restaurant that was closed, and then the movie set came down and they had like 270 people that was part of this movie that was filming in
during COVID,
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it was all outside, no masks, nothing, literally in the parking lot of where his...
Yeah, they had tents and everything.
Yeah.
But they were allowed to eat. The restaurant could feed them, but not just regular
Well,
patrons.
because the virus knew. And that's just like this. The fire knows, right, not to, if people are out in the wild, the fire knows to go get them. But if they're not, then there's no fire. What are they saying in the chat?
Fair said, I saw the video of a guy who deliberately got a fine so he could fight it in court.
Right, exactly.
He went into the woods.
You know, here's the thing about Canada. That's up in Nova Scotia. He got that fine up in Nova Scotia, $28,872, I think it was. And I hope he kicks their patooties. So let's get on with this, because first it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Now it is 2.5 months to save the forest. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick just banned you from 75% of their forest until October 15th, 2025, with $25,000 fines for stepping on your own land. That's right. You can't go in your forest. And just like the COVID, this isn't about the temporary ban. It's what comes next. On August 5th, 2025, Nova Scotia's Premier, Tim Houston, banned hiking, camping, fishing, and even driving on forested land, including private property, citing tinder dry conditions. Now, as you saw, the New Brunswick Premier, she now has backed away from that and said, yeah, well, no, it's not because of the fires. The forest fire Act proclamation took effect July 30th at 8 a.m. and runs until 2 p.m. on October 15th, unless revoked earlier. Canada, you need to get it revoked much earlier. This is absolutely another 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Enforcement is by conservation officers, RCMP, and municipal police. Violators, tens of thousands of dollars in fines. New Brunswick followed suit with nearly identical restrictions through October 15th or until significant rainfall. But now they're backing off of that, saying, well, no, it's if you get hurt or you fall off your boat, which evidently a lot of people must be falling off the goddamn boats up there in New Brunswick because they're closing you out of land you own. Yes, they're saying that it is, of course, state property, but they're also saying you can't even use the land that you buy and paid for. You bought and paid for.
That's ridiculous.
It's just,
so my summer home in the wood, like up on the lakes and the ocean, you can't go there now because
exactly that's exactly right. Let's say that you have you have a beautiful piece of property on the ocean in Nova Scotia. You can stay maybe in your front yard. I mean, at what point are they going to do COVID lockdowns? Right, stay in the house and now mask up because of the smoke. Do all of y'all out there see the what they're playing at here, what they're getting at?
I'm getting a lot of people saying our Substack no middle name says the new Rumble live feed isn't working, but I do have people on it and I'm chatting with them. So, yeah.
We'll get it fixed.
It's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress.
Yeah.
So we're streaming through Restream, and it should. I'm watching it right here.
Me too.
There we go. So there we are. We've got that, and well, I think it's going pretty good. So just go to my page on X. You can watch it there, or you can click on. I've got it pinned to my page. You can just click on that, and it should take you in.
And I've been typing in @Sergey_Bracers, and hopefully that'll find them.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, Beckham found it. See, earlier he said no.
Wonderful.
I will say that Rumble is a lot farther behind, as in the streaming.
Oh, interesting.
So when you do say, hey, let me know what you want.
Exactly.
Give me
about 4 minutes.
Exactly. to answer those people's questions.
Well, there you are.
Okay, moving on.
So what's missing? Objective safety metrics. There is no fire danger index threshold, no daily reassessment, just a blanket ban. Exactly the playbook that we have seen with COVID. This mirrors COVID playbook. Use an emergency pretext, get people to accept the restrictions for their own safety. That's very important, right? This is all for your good. It's the same atrocities that are being done by the TSA, right? Patting down young girls, feeling up your husband or your wife, pulling your grandma or grandpa out of their wheelchair for your safety. And yet the TSA has not stopped not a single hijacker. So we've got that. Everyone that the shoe bomber, right? We remember the shoe bomber and a number of other people. All of those have been caught after the plane is in flight by people who seem that something's a bit strange. So what they do is they normalize the concept of government deciding when and where you and I can move. And when the government gets you used to that, well, I'll tell you this, history shows they rarely stop there. Case in point, has there been a ban on toxic spraying of nanoparticles into the atmosphere? I don't think so. Particles that, if such programs exist, could fall to Earth, destroy beneficial microbes. Think about that. Rot tree roots and turn ground cover into permanent tinder by halting natural decomposition. No, there hasn't been a ban on directed energy weapons that could ignite tinder dry landscapes. No, except for a narrow international ban on blinding lasers. You can't stand out in your yard and point a laser at an airplane or a helicopter. No, that is a crime. But they
can do it.
Can completely torch Lahaina and Los Angeles and South Carolina, and, any number of other places, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Wyoming, huge, Colorado. I mean, just it's all on fire. Everything's on fire here. So there is no moratorium on developing or deploying these systems domestically. The moratorium is that you cannot go out into the forest. And we have had the same thing here. We've just last year during our fire season. Now that sounds strange because that never used to be that way.
Never had them when I was a kid.
But Idaho restricted the use of forests. You couldn't go out into the forests. So the real question is, why is the government quick to lock you out of the forest, but silent on potential industrial or military contributions to forest degradation or even starting forest fires? The ban's selective enforcement is the giveaway. Industrial forestry operations in Nova Scotia can log with permits during the ban, while ordinary citizens, well, they're locked out of even going into their own backyards. You cannot go into the forest. So I think that we're seeing a horrific, and I mean horrific, bastardization of law and enforcement. Do
they have people in the forest station to make sure no one walks in on this?
Right, I'm sure they do.
Drones sitting there waiting.
The millions of people that they have let absolutely take over that country, they have to have some sort of a job. They're probably paying them a small fortune to stand out in the forest and see if somebody walks in. I got somebody over here in the forest.
I got a man and his little 4-year-old walking in the woods.
Exactly. Send the Marines!
Daddy, why are they taking us away?
Oh my God. It's ridiculous. And we can see it on the forefront. So I'm asking my question today, why isn't Canada in riotous form today? Why would anybody allow this to happen? We're being absolutely herded like sheep.
Because they don't have a backbone. It's not even Canada. Yeah. I'm Canadian. I don't go back to my homeland. I don't recognize it.
Yeah.
I'm a minority.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. When you restrict rural access, you don't just save the forest like they say they're doing. You're making it harder for people to live and work on that land. That depresses values, which conveniently lines up with the World Economic Forum's 30 by 30 agenda and the push towards centralized, corporately controlled smart cities.
Okay, now on Rumble, I know people have different names than they do on X, but I think this is Christy. Yes. She says they should have had giant hiking parties.
Yes, I would. I would take 10,000 people out into the forest, because here's what's going to happen. You are going to be assaulted like this for everything. If rain comes, you're not allowed to go outside because it might flood. You can't live in your property that's along a flood zone during flood season. And we're seeing floods just come like crazy. It is absolutely very troubling for me. Very, very troubling. What are they saying over there in the chat, Miss Dawn?
Well, some people are still having problems, so I'm just answering. Let's see. No more hiking.
Yeah,
no more swimming. No more camping. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Lockdown all over again, Babushka says. Freedom of movement. Dan, a.k.a. Brad Pitt. Talk about prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't even go for
you can't
a walk. How many people I used to go hiking in the woods all the time, taking a picnic, find a little lake.
The summers, the summers used to be the outdoor time.
Are they talking like woods that nobody would normally go to? Or are they talking park? Like, are they?
No, they're saying that you can't go, if there's a forest line behind your house, you can't go into it.
That's ridiculous. That's all I did growing up.
I was reading.
Play in the woods.
Right? I was reading online where there's really they really haven't outlined what that means. It's very subjective in who it gets enforced on and how it is, what the metrics are for that enforcement, right? Can you go 50 feet out your back door? But if you go 51, then you have a $25,000 fine plus all the fees and everything that go along with it. It's getting up closer to 30 grand. And let's say that they deem your property dangerous. Or what if you live in a forested area, which many people live in forested areas. Now, all of a sudden, are you fined every day that you live in that house? It's just, this is the ridiculous BS that we see coming out of countries exactly like Canada. Trudeau wasn't the problem. Trudeau was just another goof-filled sock puppet. Canada hasn't changed now that he's stepped aside. Canada is exactly the same way because there needs to be an absolute revolution in that country that says we will not take this bullshit anymore. And if you do that, America's standing right next to you. I guarantee you that.
So Beckham said there's a guy that went to the government office to tell them he's about to walk into the woods behind the office so he could get the fine and fight it in court.
Yeah.
He got a $28,000 fine. And then there were additional fees.
Welcome to the party, victim. We've talked about that.
Yeah. Babushka says Canada beat their citizens to all hell after the trucker protest.
It was, it was reprehensible.
Yeah.
It's just, Canada is a socialist nation. There's no doubt about it. There's no guessing if it is. It's just like they're spraying the skies. That argument on if it's happening is completely over. Now it's what to do about it. So Canada is part of the China, Russia, Kim Jong-un, all of these socialist nations. Canada is a big, huge part of that. I hear that Argentina is doing phenomenally well now that they got rid of all their political hacks. I hope that there's a cleansing going on down there. Do you guys think that Donald Trump is going to really follow through with arresting Pelosi and Schumer and Barack Obama? And why aren't we hearing about the Bidens and the Clintons? Well, we're hearing a little about the Clintons, but I mean, not much. And what about the Epstein list? What about the Diddy list? And what about the other people out there that our agencies know of that we don't? Why aren't we hearing about all the other things? Babe, what were you telling me about that horrific thing you were just reading to me earlier before we went on? You sent it to me on TikTok. Let me pull this up. Let's just see.
I have no idea. I've been multitasking all afternoon.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Christy said we went to Canada in 2018 and I couldn't believe how progressive and diverse it was.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go home.
So the Fed takes down dark sites showing millions of images of child abuse material. I mean, they can hunt these people down. Well, why aren't we? And why is that? Well, why is that not part of what we hear about? It isn't.
There's 123,000 paid pedophiles on that site that they took down today. They took down 2 black dark web sites, and they had 123,000 followers and like hundreds of thousands of video. Like, it was just horrific.
That is,
from like baby abuse to child. It's just disgusting.
It's like that 743 that we talked about,
it's the same.
right?
I just don't understand humans.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. So, I mean, they took down the site, but the woman said in the interview that they take it down, they're so wanting this material, this sick stuff, that they'll find another way. They'll open up another one. They just keep doing it.
Yeah. I agree. And all of this plays into what we're talking about tonight, right? It's selective enforcement. They like this type of thing. So once you are conditioned to accept this for a forest emergency, you're one step closer to accepting it for a climate emergency, a climate lockdown, a water emergency, or even an energy emergency. And that's when the game really begins. I think. I was just gonna.
You had a little brain fart, did you?
I certainly did. It's been a long time. I haven't been sleeping well the last couple of nights.
No.
It makes me tired. It makes me difficult. I think that we are going headlong into climate lockdowns, and I really think that this is the test with Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, but we've seen it in California, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, that they have closed the forests off, saying, oh, we don't want you in there in case of a forest fire. Well, that's just not the way it works, right? We have the right to use the forests that we pay for. Our tax dollars pay for it. The government doesn't own the forest. We do.
And quit weather modifications, and maybe we won't have fire seasons.
If you allowed it to rain on the forest fires like it normally does, if you quit killing all of the bacteria that decomposes the forests, then you wouldn't have all of that there. I remember when the leaf litter used to just slowly be churned up into great soil. Now it doesn't. Sits there, becomes tinder. So does the deadfall. And you drive by entire forests over here in the Great Northwest, and they're dead. The trees are absolutely dead, and it's.
Vectum says Weather Channel seems to be prepping for air quality lockdowns.
Oh, the Weather Channel is one of the government's absolute favorite propaganda outlets, because weather is control. And they'll end up passing these bills that gets the AI. And I don't think they're going to wait. I think what they're doing is they're already connecting AI to the very powerful weather, works thing, right? Every little Doppler radar, every NextRad, every 4G, 5G, soon to be 6G tower out there, it's probably connected to the HARP radiation, the ICE neutrino project, right? It all works together, and things that we don't even know about. So we are moving on to segment 2, baby. Take a look at this.
Today, carbon pricing, ETSs, carbon taxes already cover about 25% of global emissions, right? We should actually look at scaling this, right, to cover all 100% of carbon emissions. And beyond carbon, let's think about other aspects of nature that are easier to quantify. We probably will not be able to quantify everything on day one, but what about water? Right, that's also quite possible for us to start integrating systematically into current trading carbon pricing mechanisms.
Do you guys remember the article that I wrote a couple months ago, about 4 or 5 months ago now, about the carbon trading, the carbon credits market? And how it is making bazillionaires like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett pathetically wealthy. And it makes countries. It's essentially a gambling casino where you can create as much carbon as you want as long as you buy somebody else's carbon credit, and that market drives the price of that credit. And so you can buy it and hold it onto it when it's cheap, and then it doubles, quadruples, grows exponentially 1,000 times. And then you dump it, the price goes back down, and then you buy up more. And it's this big game. And that's what they're talking about here is biodiversity credits. Because once you've locked people out, then you can sell the exclusion. Carbon credits already turned pollution into profits. Now the WEF wants biodiversity credits. And you can't have those unless you limit something first. Biodiversity credits. How biodiversity, see, you'll see up here, it's from the World Economic Forum webpage, weforum.org, how biodiversity credits can finance nature positive outcomes. That is, now you add this to the fact that you can trade weather on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, like the commodities. Weather is a commodity. It's not a stock, it's a commodity. Now, all of a sudden, you have big money trading on whether it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. Are we going to have a once in a 1,000-year flood? Well, we just might. Are we going to have 5 of them? Baby, can you imagine 5, 6, 7? What if you bet that this year in 2025, we're not going to have one, right? What are the odds of having one once in a 1,000-year floods? Can you imagine if you're like in that market?
Oh, right.
But what if you said, "Oh, we're going to have 2"? Can you believe? I mean, that astronomical. The odds are astronomical. You're literally now you're buying a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent for that. But if they had 5, right? We've already had 5. Oh no, wait, we've had 6, or is it 7?
I don't know.
And what if you got in on that market?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now we're talking insane amounts of money, and you wouldn't put $1 billion or 2 or 5 or 100 billion on that bet unless you knew something was going to happen. Am I right?
Totally.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm very, very right. So this January 2024 report spells it out. Turn ecosystems into tradable assets. Australia's biodiversity market. There we go. We've got Australia's nature repair market. Look at that right there. Isn't that beautiful? So we also have this in Costa Rica. We've got Canada's pilot program backed by HSBC and Goldman Sachs. That's a lot of money. Those are government, U.S. government, and World Economic Forum and WHO and all those guys. They're all connected, right? And they test the beds. When Nova Scotia bans your entry, it's not just protection, it's a value boost for these new credits. And like carbon credits worth $2 billion in 2023 and riddled with fraud, this is a speculative market dressed up as environmentalism. The real winners? Well, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and the Nature Vest. They scoop up protected lands, issue credits, and then sell them to corporations to pad ESG scores. The fix, of course, is ban speculative trading. Oh, hold on. There we go. We've got that. Oh, there we go. So what is the Australian, and we've got, as I said, we've got these markets all over. So the nature market, hold on, I got to find my thing so I can scroll up and down. There we are. The nature market, established under the Nature Repair Act in Australia, protects ecosystem. It allows private individuals and organizations to participate in biodiversity restoration projects on land and water. Let's take a look at down here. How it works. Well, participants, including landholders, First Nation groups, right? You got to have that. Farmers, conservation organizations, and investors can register projects with the Clean Energy Regulator, and if approved, and so this is where they pick winners and losers, right? You can't just do it. Now you have to be approved. If approved, earn biodiversity certificates, which are tradable digital assets representing validated ecological benefits. And therein lies the problem. It's gambling. And it is gambling where the governments get to pick the winners and losers. So you and we can't buy those credits because we probably wouldn't have the requisite authority to do it. And so they sell it to their friends. If you were in government and you had, let's say you had a brother or a son, maybe let's say you had a son that was a horrific drug addict and alcoholic. And let's say you're president and you wanted to make him very wealthy. Wouldn't you just say you are allowed to buy these credits, these biodiversity credits? And then all of a sudden, that credit goes up to an unimaginable value shortly after that, because we closed down the forests. And now you have to have credits to be a company that logs those forests or mines the gold, or maybe you have a mine. Right?
Yeah, what if you have a mine? Can you go in, or you have to have those credits?
You probably have to have biodiversity credits, so you don't have each one of your employees dinged for 25 grand. And
Beckham said, who declared themselves king of the world health decisions today? They were all cheering like they were in the control room at a fake NASA landing.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly right. Here's the problem is that we have this. So do you remember when Obama gave all those ridiculous medals to every pervert, every pedophile, every absolutely reprehensible human trafficker? He draped those medals around their necks. And they made a big fanfare of it. That's what's going on right now, is they're lauding themselves for doing such a great golf clap.
Golf clap. Jen said, so basically they're going to pick a spot on the map to flood or burn so someone else can win or buy cheap land.
That is exactly right. And it's not just cheap land. Remember, there is never a single reason that our government or the very, very powerful and elite do something. It's always multi-pronged. So they can buy the land cheap, yes, but also they get to sell the carbon credits, now the biodiversity credits, and they get to pass those on to the selected few that are insider trading. Nancy Pelosi, right? She's famous. I mean, that woman and her husband, the gay man that he is, which I don't care, right? If he likes humping methed out little boys, I'm not talking 18 and under or under 18, but I am saying that he's been caught with any number of meth in addled young prostitute men there in San Francisco, and he almost got his head caved in by one of his previous trysts. But back to my point, she gets inside information, and then all of a sudden that information allows her to buy credits, because Nancy Pelosi, we all know, probably needs, has the ability to buy biodiversity credits or carbon credits, or maybe her husband's firm does. But you and I can't. No, that market is not for us. The upside is just, it's too great for you and me to handle. I think that should be, that's the takeaway right there. Is the markets are simply too tough to handle. Right, babe?
It is finished says the aliens are going to come out of the force. That's funny.
I do not doubt that at all. So let's
Off topic here, DPFS 98 says, I found some really cool homes that withstand hurricanes, fireproof, etc. for your village, Sergey.
Ooh.
They're expensive right now, just in the first phase.
Well, you know what? Look at Earthbag Homes. Jen, by the way, Jen, babe, is who is helping us, of course, get guests, and she's doing a phenomenal job. And
okay.
I'm excited about her working with us, helping us out. We're gonna have some great guests.
Speaking of Jen, she says about the aliens coming out. She goes, at this point, I hope so, so they could take me.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off comes to mind.
Yeah, I want to buy a new ticket.
Yeah. All right, so what we need to do is ban speculative trading, mandate independent verification, and outlaw restrictions without measurable conservation results. Biodiversity credits, Well, where locking you out of a park is just step one toward making your local pond part of Goldman Sachs' portfolio. You remember the WEF that I played, the little clip that I played at the beginning of this segment, where the very nice Chinese lady, because it was held in China, was saying that we need a way to attach these credits to waterways and rivers and lakes and ponds. And pretty soon it'll be the ocean. You won't be able to go to the ocean. Even if your house sits on it, let's say you own 100 feet of frontage. Or let's say that you sit on a small, beautiful lake in Montana. You won't be able to use that because you can't afford those credits. And all of a sudden, maybe you have an investment. Maybe you have people come there for Airbnb. Can't do it because you don't have the biodiversity credits. You don't have the carbon credits. And they're going to have water credits. I guarantee you that's what they're pushing for. So this is not conservation. It is out and out absolute enclosure. And like every enclosure in history, it's about moving commonwealth into private hands. What are they saying over there in the chat, Miss Dawn?
This is a new name, Rhett Bierman.
Oh, Rhett. No, nice to have you join us.
I just posted a comment on this live video where I heard for the first time today about the Canadian fire lockdowns, but I'll say it again here. Thank you all for expounding upon it and reminding me, though, now all of a sudden Canada cares about safety when they're euthanizing their own people too.
Oh my God. I mean, it is, honest to God, it is akin to the concentration camps of Hitler's fame. They are getting rid of, once you open Pandora's box, it is extraordinarily hard. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. You can't unring the bell. Baby, do I have any other sayings like this? My point is that now that you have these cocktails, what they're doing is they're telling people, yeah, you know what? Nobody wants you around. They go in, they brainwash these people and say, you're better off to just die. You're a burden on your family, the people that you love. You're actually costing them a fortune. We won't be able to cover your simple surgery in order to make you better. Just let us give you this cocktail of pills and we'll lay you to rest. I see S. Sonny. Very nice to have you here. Let's see.
You're on Rumble.
Yeah, I'm looking on Rumble right here. So, and we're getting a locals set up too, right, babe?
Yeah, we will.
So,
on Substack, known middle name said no middle name. I want to say
KNOW.
Yeah. Atmospheric visibility may be at an all-time low. I live at high altitude and we have a constant haze. This would be a great topic for people to chime in on.
Yeah. Can you send me a message and remind me, and I'll get a segment worked up this week about that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Middle name. Send that to me on Substack. I'll get it. And thank you very much. And everybody out there, if you guys have something that you'd like me to hunt down, by all means, I would love to do it. Now, baby, did you see that I have a new a new group photo that I put up?
Oh, for the Rumble.
Yeah, and it wasn't not just for the Rumble, for the show, the entire right. So the reason I put this up, the reason that we have this, I'm bringing it up right here, and we'll share that screen. There we go. We have got a group of people. Every Friday, we're doing a 3-hour show. We moved the 3-hour show off of Sunday because I really need some. I need a break. I need at least one day a week off, or at least enough time off to not do a show on Sundays. Yeah. So we're doing our 3-hour show on Fridays, and I will be joined by a group. It'll be a hell of a lot of fun. Think about it more like the Morning Zoo meets Glenn Beck and shakes louder with Crowder's hand. That's what we're going for. You see, baby, do you see I put your picture up there?
Yeah, I'm the the emoji
faceless,
with the headset on because
yep.
I don't want to be seen. I'll be heard.
We've got Jack Moore. I was on his show a few weeks ago. You're gonna love him. And then we've got our millennial, right? So we've got Austin Jacobs over here as well, and he's gonna just kind of be firing shots from the corner on this.
Yeah, he's got a good dry humor.
I like it. I talked to Ann Vandersteel today, and she's going to come on every now and then. I think that this is going to be a real fun way to wrap up the weekend. So it'll start at 6 p.m. on Fridays rather than 7:30, and it'll go from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Friday. And it's kind of the new generation of show. So same great content and quality, just new name. So Sergey versus Goliath. That keeps us out of hot water with the IRS. I like that. Mm-hmm. Now, where were we? Oh, I know. So, not this last week. Well, last week, I guess it was Wednesday. We had the Maha Action Committee that I sit on, and Christy and LaShawn and Pat and Allie. We all sit on the Action Committee. And they were talking about the pesticide immunity bill. And I could just kind of like to follow up on that. So now that the WEF and Wall Street carve up your natural world, Congress is quietly working on legalizing poison. If glyphosate and paraquat were as safe as Bayer and Syngenta claim, they wouldn't need immunity for lawsuits. But that is exactly why they are pushing for it. Let's take a look at this. Here we go. The pesticide liability shield is a public health crisis. And that's exactly right, because HSB 737 in Iowa and Section 430 or 453, I'll bring that up for you right there, of the Interior Environment Appropriations Bill both aim to shield pesticide makers from liability. Why? Well, because Bayer came out. Well, I don't want to say came out, but really World War II, World War I. They made mustard gas. Mm-hmm. The Bayer is a Nazi, and this is not me saying it. I mean, everybody knows they are Nazi faithful. They are the heirs of the Nazi Empire, and they do not like people on Earth. So, for what that's worth, and Bayer makes glyphosate. Why is that word so hard for me to say? So it's been hammered with billions in settlements over glyphosate, cancer links, classified probably carcinogenic. I wonder if it is, says the WHO research arm. And Syngenta is facing lawsuits over paraquat's connection to Parkinson's. Internal documents, I'll get that. There we go. Internal documents prove that they knew. Instead of warning farmers or reformulating, industry lobbyists, CropLife America and the American Chemistry Council, are lobbying for total immunity. They do not want to pay for their crimes. The fix is to kill these bills, expand EPA's recall authority, and help farmers transition to regenerative methods. And here's what I'm going to say. We need more small farms. We need more farmers. We don't need more influencers. We don't need more Kim Kardashians. Right. We don't need more singers. We don't need more actors and actresses. Honest to God, in all the businesses that I have run, consulted on, or owned, I have hired more actors and actresses who never went on to do anything. Put your life to use. Put your life to good use. Go do something incredible. Start a farm. Feed the people around you. It can be extremely profitable and very, very emotionally, mentally, and soulful satisfying. We've lost over the last 10 years 1.5 million small farms across America. To put that into perspective, that's just a ton of small farms that we lost. And that land has been bought up by the likes of Bill Gates and Jeff Zuckerberg or Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. That's where that land is going. Now they're sitting on it because they get the carbon credits. That's the market that they're in. So we need to start going against that. China is also buying up massive amounts of farm. And what they do is they do stuff, they being the United States government, that's the they we're talking about. The EPA, the Bureau of Land Management. These are the entities that are driving farmers in small farms off of their land. And we need to get together and stop that. Now, I love the idea of 100 people getting together so they have voting rights. 100 is a very important number. 100 people get together, buy a piece of property, and then you start either a community farm or everybody just has a small garden in their house, and then you share, sell, or live off those vegetables. Put a cafe or a restaurant up where that is used. All of the stuff that you raise, your goats, your goat's milk, your goat's cheese, your cows, your beef, you go out and hunt or fish. That is all part of the restaurant that feeds that community. And then people from outside can come. Yes, absolutely. But it's a community of like-minded people that build houses like straw bale homes, or like, what was it, Pat? It was saying, who was saying that they found a new type of house that can withstand all sorts of things, but they're expensive.
I think that was Vectum.
Vectum, all right.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Well, one of you said it, and that was brilliant. But yes, these are the type of ideas that need to start taking hold. We can no longer sit on our phones just all day long or playing games. We're rotting the brains. Why do we have a brain if that's all we're going to do? We're going to be depopulated because we have allowed ourselves to become worthless. Don't be worthless. Go start farming. Learn about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, animal husbandry, there's a reason it is called that when you raise animals. It's because there is a relationship. You make a deal with that animal, whether it's a cow or a sheep or why are sheep called sheep, right? Wouldn't it be shep or sheeps? It's like moose and moose, or geese and geese, but you have goose and geese. So anyways, the whole point is that you build a relationship with those animals the same way you do with a garden.
DPSF said it about the house. Thank you,
DPFS.
Jen remembered.
There we go, Jen. Thank you. DPSF, thank you very much for bringing that up. And I look forward to you dropping that in my DMs or tagging me or something about that.
There's some dark stuff being talked here. So earlier while you were talking, who said it? Vectum said Canada is going full Soylent Green.
Soylent Green, yeah.
And then Rhett Bierman said it's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
Yeah, well, that's the movie, isn't it?
They're making our food out of people.
Yeah,
Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. Yeah. You've got to tell them.
Absolutely.
That's disgusting.
Let me see if I can.
And then Jen said, someone sent me a vid that humans are being fed human meat and dogs are being fed dog meat. Who knows anymore?
Right, exactly.
I'll tell you, when I lived in Thailand, I'm sure I was eating a dog and cat because they were everywhere.
Yeah. All right, let's hold on.
Get to the exchange. You gotta tell them they're right.
Oh.
That's it. Get to the exchange. You gotta tell them they're right.
Yeah. But let's take care of you first.
What is this?
You don't understand. I've got proof. They need proof. I've seen it. I've seen it happening.
Oh.
They've got to tell people.
Tell them what?
The ocean's dying. Plankton's dying.
60% of the plankton gone.
It's people.
Is this a movie?
Yeah.
Soylent Green is made out of people.
There we go. That's the famous line. That's where we get it, right? That's Soylent Green. Soylent Green was a food that they fed this enclosed population. Enclosed like they're talking about doing with the 15-minute cities and like they're talking about doing with the line and all that, right? What do you think they're going to be feeding it? And I think 160,000 kids have disappeared that were imported into Britain, the UK. They can't find them. Just like the 85 or 100,000 or 200,000, depending on whose number you're looking at, came up missing, and they still haven't found those kids.
They just found 60 kids in Florida.
Yeah. Exactly.
Horrific conditions.
We have allowed our government to turn us into the most reprehensible species on the planet. Do something great with your life. Become a farmer or a rancher or both. Start a small piece of property. Grow your own food. Invite me over for dinner. I was a chef. I can come cook. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what we're gonna do, baby. Because I am no longer, I'm no longer feeling it. It worries me. Now, if you guys have not been to the Clear Skies Movement website, I urge you to go, and we've got a lot of great stuff here. So you can shop. We've got some great hats, stickers, towel, eco-friendly beach towel. There we go. Magnets. I like stickers a little better than magnets, but
there's a sticker on there now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. I've got a number of these books here.
And did you tell them I'm working on a Sergey versus Goliath website?
Oh, yeah. And Miss Dawn is working on a Sergey versus Goliath website. So we will.
Eventually they have to be separate.
So if the IRS is listening, we are separating the show from the movement. There we go. So I've got one of these cups. I use it absolutely every single day. 20-ounce jumbo mug. A little thing to hold your coffee in or your tea.
It's huge. I should get a smaller one because
no.
Us women wouldn't drink one that big.
Yeah, but you got these like Stanley looking cups or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, there we go. I wanted to get to something else. Let me just really quick.
No more segments.
Yeah,
we're just 4 minutes.
We're running out of time. 1 hour goes so fast. I can't wait for Friday. Show up Friday. We'll set your hair on fire. I think it's going to be fun. I really do think it's going to be fun. So, 15-minute cities, but the play isn't just legislation. It's in the land. They call it the future of sustainable living. Everything you need in a short walk. But when push comes to shove, right after wildfires, floods, or hurricanes clear the land, you start to wonder, is this sustainability or is this convenient? And is it a cage? The 15-minute city model pushed by Carlos Moreno, WEF, the UN Habitat, comes with facial recognition, license plate readers, and digital ID baked in. And disasters speed it up. One thing that they don't tell you is that in order to live in the 15-minute city, if another mRNA vaccine comes out, you have to get the vaccine or they will give it to you. Mark my words, that's what they're saying about the line. And you have to pay for it. They'll charge you for it, and they'll jab you.
But there won't be any jobs, so how do we pay for stuff?
I think that one of the reasons that a 15-minute city is small enough that it takes a small group of people to live there. Are you picking up what I'm laying down?
Mm-hmm. I'm getting jiggy with it.
Yeah, what I mean by that is that the depopulation approach is so you can get rid of people. Right now we're locking them out of the land. Now we're going to take the water away from them. Now we're going to put you in a 15-minute prison. Really, and that's what it is. And you'll own nothing and be happy about it, right? You'll work to pay whoever owns. Nobody owns their property in a 15-minute city. It is all rented out. Why do you think BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, why do you think Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, why do you think that the Soros family and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Bushes and all of those are buying up houses with these enormous hedge funds? Well, there's the investment firms, right? They are absolutely taking over the world. This is how you do it. And then you become a slave when you get into that, right? When somebody else grows your food or turns people into your food, when somebody else tells you what kind of dog you can have, if you can come out of your house, or when you have to wear a mask, or what they can inject into your body, and not just yours, your children, and then what your children can learn. These 15-minute cities, these smart cities,
aren't so smart.
Well, it is 8:30, and I was going to go on and on and on, but
oh my gosh,
that brings us up to the end of another exciting episode. Remember to follow me on Rumble, and if you're not following me on X, please click the follow button, and on Substack too. I absolutely love Substack.
World premiere inside mRNA vaccine movie tomorrow night.
All right.
SS Sunny posted that.
Send that to me if you can. Drop it in a message or something. I'll talk about that tomorrow night also. I will see you guys later. Thank you very much for showing up here.
Good night, all.
Good night, all.